I'm just saying, at a subscription number that would give them millions of dollars a month, like, they would have no more excuses. This is better for the player base. They make crazy amount of money, right? But like, let me see something. At $15 a month for 80,000 players, that's $1.2 million a month. In my opinion, that leaves them no excuses for lackluster content. Hey, what's going on, guys? I appreciate you for clicking on the video and checking out the thumbnail and the content. But yeah, I've been thinking about this for a really long time. Like, for years, I've been playing Destiny since year one. I didn't play alpha or beta, but I definitely have been playing everything consistently. I don't actually play any other game. Like, I do play other games, but like, I don't actually rush to go play other games and everything. I'm a fully dedicated Guardian. Warlock main, and all types of memorabilia, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I just wanted to talk about this because I think it's about time. I was just getting done playing some of the season of the Seraph. I really wanted to talk about this, and I have some numbers here and some things I wanted to kind of run across you. But it would be very lucrative to the community if Destiny became a subscription base instead of an expansion base. I kind of know how a lot of people might feel hearing that. I'm not really sure about how many people have actually given their take on that, but I've been thinking about it for a few years now, and I would just love to get your take and what you think on how you feel about it. But here we go. I think Destiny 2 or Destiny as a whole should go as a subscription base, simply so that way we can get better content. I was watching DATTO'S video on, like, I believe it was his impressions on the season currently, and I think he made a very valid point towards the end. Everybody is very upset right now.
But I can't help but feel like people's expectations keep increasing every single season, despite Bungie doing quite literally nothing to alter expectations.
We're all very jaded. We're all very tired of, like, the same seasonal model.
I'm not here to bitch and complain and slander. This thing needs to go. This thing is so... I don't know if you could see it in my face, but when I walked up and I interacted and I saw this box here, I was like, oh my God.
Sort of doing the same old thing and everything. But, like, Datto made a very valid point. 3 months for $10 of content.
Expectations gotta stay limited for the time being. People are expecting the world for $10, and I hate to keep bringing that up and using the whole comparison of media versus how much money you're spending to consume that media, but like, it's still how I feel about the situation. Expectations gotta get tempered.
And most Guardians are gonna buy the expansion a la carte, so they're gonna get the season with it too. I always buy the deluxe bundle because, like I said, all I play is Destiny. So I really wanted to kind of get this out here and sort of go over some things. So let's dive into it. So let's keep it simple. $15 times, let's say on a good day, 200,000 people. That's $3 million. There's $3 million coming in every month from the player base at just 200,000. So I would like to do the same number at the deluxe bundle for like any expansion. Okay, so we're gonna do 100, because that's what they usually average out to, dollars times 200,000 equals $20 million. Now, that is one expansion, but it's including the season pass and all these other things that kind of come with it, the story, the campaign, and everything, for $20 million. Now, not to mention that it will constantly keep going. But you can already see by the math alone that $3 million a month is a lot more than one $20 million lump sum. If, of course, every single time there's 200,000 people that boarded the game. Now, at something like, if we were to do $20 times 200,000, that's $4 million. Okay, $4 million. And if we double that, that's $8 million coming in. So, and it's indefinite. I think it will work, because if you don't feel like playing Destiny, you don't have to pay for that subscription for that month. But if you do, it's only $20. Instead of gatekeeping every single expansion and every single seasonal model. I've heard a couple of people bring this up. There's plenty of games. I want to bring up a list of games that have a subscription, just for a list. World of Warcraft, Final Fantasy, EVE Online, Second Life, Dragon Quest, all these games. Star Wars: The Old Republic. I'm going to type in Final Fantasies subscription price. Final Fantasy has a $12.99 subscription. It lasts for 30 days. It's a monthly price of $12.99. It says max characters per server is 8, max characters per physical data center is 8. So you can see that it's working over there. And I hear nothing but like raving reviews, especially with somebody like Joker, who seems to talk about it. Joker, the YouTuber, Destiny YouTuber, who talks about Final Fantasy all the time, how, you know, they have a subscription and they're always doing big things. I truly think that what the Destiny community is craving and what they're clamoring for is, of course, more content. But we've as a community, we've backed ourselves into a corner. We backed ourselves into a corner of like, we didn't want this at one point and now we're tired of it the same way. They cannot, and I don't think they should, change up the seasonal model for the price that they give. We're going to come back every single time, so therefore there's no reason to actually change up the seasonal model. And unfortunately, it feels bad, because, you know, they have to figure these things out by the years, by the months minimum, and the fastest they can do quick fixes is if they already have it literally like on standby.
You also got to see it from Bungie's end. They've had this content delivery model for years now, and people are starting to revolt. Okay, need to make changes. But completely changing your entire content delivery model is going to take a ton of time, not to mention the business end of such a major shift if they shifted away from seasonal drops. You need to address the main issues, then design a solution for it, and with an issue this large, that is a significant undertaking. Season 19 was probably locked and loaded by the time Season 16 was ending, which is where feedback really started to ramp up.
And I think we don't give Bungie enough credit personally for how much goes into the actual game. And when I say into the game, I don't mean content. I mean quality of life, graphics, consistency. I mean, like, the enemy density alone has increased over the years to, like, if you ask me, like a beautiful amount. It could even be more, you know, because we've gotten so strong and we've gotten so powerful, and we love that. I think as guardians, as players of Destiny, we actually enjoy the idea of being overpowered. Like, I honestly don't play this game for no other reason but to be overpowered. Like, I want harder content, but I want harder content because I am so overpowered. So you see, like, we know what we want. It's just that sometimes we forget that Bungie is also on this journey of live based gaming. And they're trying their hardest to keep up with an engine that does not actually nurture quick access, quick changes, and everything. And I for one, do not vote that we go. I do not vote that we go to a World of Warcraft level graphics. I don't, because in my opinion, World of Warcraft was the reason why I like Destiny so much. But the problem is I never got into it simply because I don't like the idea of those graphics. And I'm not trying to badmouth World of Warcraft at all, but just personally as a gamer, I never really gravitated to the idea that I would play this game that had minimal impact when I hit someone. You know, it's like a distance thing. It's like the numbers speak louder than the actual graphics. But in this game, you have so much. You have live feedback. You have your character and the other characters, or the other players, or even the ads. In PvE, they react. They react to every shot that we give them. They react to every, they disintegrate, they melt, they freeze, and like all of this stuff like culminates to like a high quality game that like you don't really get from other games. That's why we're addicted to Destiny. Let's be honest. You know, the number one question that a lot of Destiny players get is, why do you like Destiny so much? And normally the answer is, I don't know, it's just I love it. I know that I personally, just a little insight, I personally love Destiny for just like action. Like, I don't really care about, like, I like the story, or at least I like how vague and fantastical the story is. I don't need a lot of, home feeling nostalgia. I actually enjoy the game for the game itself, which is, shooting powers and space adventures, right? And then when you wrap something around it, I don't want to feel like I'm back in the real world. I want to feel like I'm in a new world, So we all play this game. Honestly, I believe we all play this game for our own personal reasons, which is great. And I love that. We all love the idea of just Destiny at its core. But we tend to get very frustrated very quickly because it's true, they are trying to, I don't know how to put this. They are trying to also appeal to the casual core playlist, which I also have no problem with too, because to me, I feel like Destiny as Guardians is a world of high tier Guardians and mid tier and low tier, and in that, if you wanted to put it into gamer terms, you got noob, you got casual, and then you got like the addicts, right? And I kind of consider myself an addict as well, not because of like my accolades or like my accommodations, but really just because of how much I don't really want to play any other game. Like, I look up builds, I look up strategies, I like to do things blind, like, doing the dungeon the other day blind, like with no guide. It feels good. So the reason why I really believe in the idea of them going to a subscription model basis, because we've heard this time and time again. They have investors they have to please. We can't keep expecting them to just give away without some way. Like, the game requires so much. It looks amazing. Like, even on PS4, it still looks amazing. So I think it's very unfair that like we keep pushing them to do the same thing. But people, like, PlayStation did not buy because Bungie, for billions of dollars, they were gonna like put that into Destiny. I think they saw what was going on with Destiny. I think they seen like the quality. You also got Bungie with Halo and everything. They just their back catalog, and they made a smart investment. Let's be honest, like, you know, especially with, you know, the whole console wars that are going on. So if you think about it, like, I think that this will be a great way for the player base to take more control into their hands with their dollars. A $20 subscription is, and trust me, I get it. Like, you got all these other things. You got PlayStation Plus. You got, you know, but I think, and just correct me if I'm wrong, is not getting free expansions randomly at the same exact time, essentially, but still, nonetheless, like, it just announced just randomly for free does not sound good, simply because you give them $20 of your real estate, you know, or you give them $20 for a piece of the real estate. You essentially become an owner of it. And when you don't like something, your dollar goes a lot further. You don't pay that $20 for that month. That's a whole month that they miss out of payment. And if everybody else is still paying, cool. But if everybody falls off, then it's a bigger sign. They will move a lot faster. And I think that, like, personally, I'm an advocate for them to expand their Destiny team way beyond, because after what we've seen with season 18, and with how they've already explained, like, how they can't really roll stuff out as fast as possible countless times, I think that if we were able to help them expand, like, I would want, personally, I would want the game to take my $20 along with the other player base and take that money and directly split it down the middle, or however they got to divide it between the company itself and its investors, you know, for those dividends. I think that they should take that and put it into expanding the game so that they can have this continuous revenue and stream of income coming in constantly, nonstop. But at the same time, we don't suffer because, you know, like, let's just be honest, we know how we are as a player base. I have seen people giving seasonal impressions angry already, and I mean, I guess it's to be expected, but you guys are not you're not being within reason right now. You're not being reasonable right now. It's $10 for 3 months worth of content, and you can get it even cheaper if you buy it with the expansion. So it's even cheaper. Like, I feel like they've thrown us so many bones, but they can only do so much with the resources that they have. So I really feel like, hey, if I give you $20 a month along with the other player base, can we see actual expansion? We all want space battles. We all want SRL back. And the real reason why those modes are not here is because they don't have the team for it. They are already hiring people not only for Destiny, but for their other IPs that Sony has already asked them to do, and that other Japanese company, or I can't remember what company it is, that's for Matter, which we don't even know that's a real name, and apparently that's a mobile game. Like, I don't know. Don't quote me on this. I am not you know, a lead on this. I'm here giving my opinion, but let's be honest, like, they have to divide their attention up so much that I feel like if we give them the $20 subscription that tells them directly, like, here is my money for more, like, consistent, high quality Destiny, I don't really want to run into problems. I would love if they took the majority of that money, the majority of that cash that comes from the player base, and simply put it into a larger coding team, you know, to expand on the Tiger engine and everything, like, make that thing stronger. They need a team. And if they have let's just say, like, if they have only like 100-man team on it, and then they bumped it up to 200 man or something like that, or even something crazy like 500 man. I'm just spitballing numbers, of course. I have no idea how realistic or unrealistic those numbers are, of course. I'm just giving examples. I'm pretty sure our bug fixes would be so much faster. Our actual, like, quality of life updates will be much faster instead of us always waiting for hot fixes. And don't get me wrong, I love Astacross's hot fixes. I love, watching him, do his twabs and everything in the patch notes. I don't want that to stop. But I also feel as though that we are all becoming jaded because we are getting exactly what we are asking for. I personally cannot stand snipers. I just don't think that snipers should be in a game that has like a health bar and it just doesn't warn you. But I am like barely a percentage in that factor. So I feel as though that we all collectively feel the same thing about the game. So that puts us in this position of like, okay, well, let's use our dollars to speak. Yo, Bungie, how would you feel if we were giving you $20 from the entire player base to gain access to this game that is constantly already having, like, after Lightfall, I'm sure people are going to once again fall right back into droves. And if you really wanted to keep the players playing and where they don't ever turn off their subscription, then that incentivizes them to give us better content at a much larger and quicker pace. I mean, I'm just saying, at a subscription number that would give them millions of dollars a month, like, they would have no more excuses. This is better for the player base. They make crazy amount of money, right? But like, let me see something. At $15 a month for 80,000 players, that's $1.2 million a month. In my opinion, that leaves them no excuses for lackluster content. If you just think about it from a logical business aspect, that would get both of us what we want. It would get Bungie what they need and what we want more consistently. It's not that bad. If the whole reason why you don't agree with a subscription base is because you feel entitled to better content, you got to understand something. You are paying for what you are getting. The seasonal model is monotonous because, one, we consume content rapidly. I'm sure well over 30% of the community logged into Season 19 and ate up the day one content for week one in an hour. And they know that that's what we do. We demolish content. Two, we are sitting here on a gold mine, but because we feel entitled to better content, we're going to not work as hard to get the gold. It doesn't make any sense. And three, we have to let it go and understand that we are not playing a game that was really intended for the level of quality content release. Like, they have to make the game by the months, y'all. By months, by years. I am perfectly willing to bet a substantial amount of money that they are working on Final Shape right now. They are coding stuff for Final Shape that we have no idea. I mean, Lightfall came with Strand, and that in itself, like, when we got Witch Queen, we didn't get new powers. We got Light 3.0, and they literally like spreaded that over the year. We got all three subclasses by the second season of the year. So if you don't really understand, like, the proof is in the pudding. It really is. Like, you can see it there. That is a substantial amount of work. That is a crazy amount of manpower that is needed. I mean, our weapons, we don't want our weapons to get whack. And they love making these crazy weapons. But when they make these crazy weapons and we get mad when it comes out broken, what do you expect? You got Arbalest. You got Lorenzo. Come on. All these ones. You got Stasis. It came out hot. Yo, I'm sure they're testing the game. But how much testing do you think that they can get done within the content releases that we have requested of them? It used to be 2 expansions, and that's when they had Activision. I mean, just understand that what I am requesting of the community, while I'm just tangent, is that we use our dollars to get better quality, right? Like, we've already paid for Lightfall. Maybe they couldn't even move it to a subscription until the end of Final Shape and everything, and we're on our next chapter, which to me would make a lot of sense, because then they wouldn't have to scramble so much to integrate a new subscription. I don't know how easy or difficult that would be. Honestly, it's money, so I'm sure they could prioritize it very quickly if that even sounds lucrative. We don't even know if they considered doing the subscription and they was like, well, we make more money from this. But they also don't make enough money to where we can get what we want on our terms. So if we go to a subscription base, we would have a lot better quality, and we will have a lot better things to make us feel patient. You know what I'm saying? And then they can bring us more stuff. We can get SRL for a season. We can get space battles and start having I got crazy ideas that I always have for Destiny, you know? So I really hope that you would consider that.